Sheriff Todd Baxter. On June 13th, 2019, I sent you the following letter. Todd K. Baxter, Sheriff, 955 Panorama Trail, South, Rochester, New York, 14625. Attached is a Freedom of Information Law document with this language, quote, the cost of a surveillance device purchased with taxpayer dollars by Monroe County Sheriff Todd K. Baxter and fixed to a building at 2025 Penfield Road, the Monaster Christopher Chichester, 26 Sandon Farm Drive, walks through the parking lot next to the building. Do you understand this language, Todd the fascist stooge? Do you get it in your pathetic Orwellian universe? Is your fascist stooge cranium able to process its simplicity? A whack job sheriff forces an innocent citizen to write such language. A whack job like you, Todd the fascist stooge. I know what you will do. You will refuse to comply. You will reject how you spend taxpayer dollars to abridge my constitutional and civil rights. You have also rejected 18 FOIL demands for your public employee payroll. Good. Because you will receive one tomorrow and you will refuse to comply with the law and disclose your public employee payroll. I will tell you where you can find me tomorrow at 11 a.m. I will stand in front of your surveillance state camera. I'll raise both fists. I'll extend a single finger from each fist. And then I will walk through the Holy Roman Todd K. Baxter parking lot for the 4,000th time past your surveillance state camera. If sick and demented Dane Rashaw sees me, he will go berserk and call you deputy fascist stooges. He won't call you for any other human being placing feet on the sanctified cement of your parking lot. Only me, Todd the fascist stooge. Come to my house and arrest me. Christopher Chichester, 26 Sanders Farm Drive, Penfield, New York. No response. And it's your device. That's the building. That's the camera right there. See that? That's the camera right there. You bought that from me. I'll explain why you bought that from me. Because I'm walking through the parking lot for the 4,000th time and you live in crazy town, Todd the fascist stooge. I'm the only New Yorker. I have 17.9 million that can't walk through the Holy Roman Todd K. Baxter parking lot. So, I leave my house one day earlier this year. And I begin to walk through the Holy Roman Todd K. Baxter parking lot for the 4,000th time. And Elliot Roth of this business, Consumer Insights at 2025 Penfield Road, is outside. And he says to me, with this oddball look on his face, you're going to be arrested, and I don't know what he's talking about, and I think he's mentally ill. I don't get it at all. You're going to be arrested, he says to me. He knows you installed the surveillance device. He knows you came there. He knows you're about to descend on me. That's why. It's a surveillance device. It's a camera. You were fixed to that building, and I was on it. Surveillance device. And I was on it. Excuse me, Todd. Can you say, really, it's my side thing for my true passion. I work with retards. That is language from a fictional whack job. You are a non-fictional whack job. So on September 24th, I sent you these YouTube links about what I'm doing to you, and have you figured out yet what I'm doing to you? Because I am relentless. And one of them is about your YouTube buffoon, joke, incompetent Michael J. Radler of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. So, what I want to know about Michael J. Radler, and you'll be hearing from me next week about him, is he collecting his retirement paycheck and a salary as an assistant to you, Sheriff Todd Baxter? And the answer to that question is yes. The question answers itself. And he's a double dipper, your employee. You're paying him off is what you're doing. That's what you're doing. Why do you need Michael Radler as an assistant to the sheriff? That's his title, an assistant to the sheriff. What is he doing employed at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office? When was the last time Michael Radler arrested someone committing a real crime? Not me, because you just abridged my civil and constitutional rights in a disgusting, appalling, nauseating way. I'm talking about a real criminal who commits a crime. When was the last time he was out on the streets? When was the last time Michael Radler conducted an investigation? Tell me. You got my email, Mike O'Reilly. You know why you got my email, Mike O'Reilly? Because 18 times I sent you a Freedom of Information Law document demanding your public employee payroll, and you, Mike O'Reilly, sit next to Jimmy the intern as an assistant to the sheriff, refused to disclose the public employee payroll every time. 18 times you, Mike O'Reilly, blew it off. You are such a joke. Why do you think you exist, Michael Radler? Why do you think you have money in your wallet? Where do you think that money comes from? All 170 of you people at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office are public employee. And I've been demanding his payroll for over a year. That's because you live in fear of people finding out what you earn at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. That's just the base salary. I want to know your overtime costs, time and a half, or however paid beyond the 40-hour week or base salary is calculated. And then I want to know your travel. And the reason why I want to know your travel is because of, I love this guy here. We have Ryan Fisher. There he is. You sent Ryan Fisher to the Super Bowl in Atlanta with his canine dog. There he is with his canine dog. Did Ryan Fisher go to the Super Bowl in Atlanta with his canine dog Lola and the Kinks? Did the Kinks sing Lola to Ryan Fisher? L-O-L-A Lola. So, Spectrum News story, January 17, 2019. Monroe County Deputy Canine ready to protect and serve at the Super Bowl. Protect, quote, P-A-W-T-E-C-T. I'm glad that America required Ryan Fisher to go 1,000 miles away and out of Monroe County, out of New York State to protect Americans. Thank you, Ryan Fisher, for your service to the United States of America. You know, President Donald Trump should award you the Presidential Medal of Freedom in the Oval Office for protecting America there with Lola. So thank you, Ryan Fisher. So I'm also going to send you, or I have sent you, a Freedom of Information Law document that you blew off about these guys here. Here we have your 13 employees underwater in a pool. Did you, Sheriff Todd Baxter, expend taxpayer dollars to take this photograph of your 13 public employees underwater in a pool? What are these 13 public employees doing there underwater? I mean, I don't see any criminals swimming by there. I mean, real criminals, not me. What's going on there? I mean, this is just pathetic. This was on your Facebook page. You were such a criminal joke at your Monroe County Sheriff's Office. Excuse me, Todd. Sometime today, can you say in the office, perhaps to Michael Radler, look, I didn't solicit any sex, okay? This is a huge misunderstanding. I was really going out to pee. I was walking in the bushes. I tripped over this guy, and suddenly all those cops in their helicopters. So that's language from a fictional whack job, and you, Todd, are a non-fictional whack job. So I'd like to show you here. This is a document I sent you on July 6th. So that's over 2 months ago. And I'm going to show you the key word here. I'm going to point to the key word here. It's a Freedom of Information Law document. And I'm going to point to the key word here with the appropriate finger that I've used previously to communicate with you, with your criminal organization. It's a Freedom of Information Law document here. And there's the key word right there. Can you see the key word in law? Freedom of Information Law document. There's the key word right there. Law, baby. Okay? I hereby apply to inspect, obtain a copy of the following records. Quote, the public employee payroll for the Monroe County Sheriff's Office and Monroe County Jail. I sent this to your registered mail. I emailed it to you July 6th. Where's the public employee payroll? Where is it? I was a public employee on Capitol Hill when I handled the FOIL. Somebody wanted the public employee salary. I gave it to them. Here it is. And they didn't even require a FOIL. Somebody asked me for the payroll. I gave it to them. I was a public employee when I worked in the Capitol in Albany. I handled the FOIL for what? Wait for it. Salaries. And when I was asked for the salary as a public employee in the Capitol for my bosses, the majority leader and governor, I gave that reporter or other party the public employee payroll. That doesn't happen at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office because you're a collection of criminals and fanatics. So, excuse me, Sheriff Baxter, can you say sometime today to one of your public employees in the office, perhaps Michael Radler, 4? That seems like an awful lot of speed to give to one little pooch. Are you sure it won't kill him? So, and here's your signature. I think this is your signature, Michael Radler. There you are. There you are, MJ, baby. All right? MJ Radler, there you are, MJ. Well, you're number 23 here and number 45 when you sign this. There it is right there on July 11th there, MJ, baby. I'm demanding your public employee payroll, and you know what I hear? I hear nothing. Every single time I've contacted you, registered, mail, return, receipt, I did not receive your public employee payroll. Every single time. So, now, this grass-cutting loser from Broccoli Tree and Lawn Care comes alongside my house. Suddenly, after I lived here for 8 years, they're cutting the grass all the time. They come here at 7 a.m. on a Sunday, 8 p.m. on a weekday night, and I go outside, and I confront this guy. And I'm outside for 30 seconds, like I previously told you. And your 6 fanatics converge on me, just for standing right here. Just for standing right there, your 6 fanatics. Now, I tell you this again because you put the handcuffs on me, you 6 fanatics. You put me in the vehicle. My neighbor witnesses this, and you drive me down to your Panorama Trail location. I think it was there. But I'm in the jail, and you handcuff me inside the jail, and I can't reach the toilet, and I urinated on myself twice. And then one of your deputy whack jobs at about 4 o'clock in the morning, he says to me, we're going to cut you a break and drive you home. So they drive me home. Then when I got into my house, my wonderful little guy, he defecated and urinated inside the house. So the reason why I mention that, my wonderful little guy defecating and urinating inside the house, is that I used to walk my wonderful little guy in the land right over here. Twice a day for 7 years, 4,000 times. What's more ordinary than walking your dog? And one day, the back window from this disgusting Shaw law firm opens. They don't come over here and say, we have a title to the land, stay off your land, which I would understand. All I'm doing is walking my dog like I have every day for 7 years, twice a day, 4,000 times. And Dr. Gloria Nichols was in that building over there that Sean Shaw now occupied at 20 and 41 Penfield Road. And I'd been in there because I walked through the parking lot before Dr. Nichols was my dentist. She was so friendly and so nice. Hello, nice to see you. Because she knows it's an average, ordinary thing. Now I'm the only New Yorker out of 17.9 million that inflames these whack jobs and can't walk through the parking lot. And I'm going to get to another email about how many of those people walk through that parking lot on one particular evening. So, anyway, I'm walking my dog over there for the 4,000th time. Back window flies open from the Shaw law firm. And here your deputy fanatics are here an hour later with the animal control vehicle. And you want to seize my wonderful little guy that I adopted from Lollipop Farm. You have to kill me to take my wonderful little guy from me. And that's what I told him at the front door. You'll have to kill me to take him from me. And you left. And now you know who I am. And you're going to just descend on my life and destroy my life, character, and integrity. And it's disgusting. And that's why I'm relentless here and what I'm doing to you on YouTube. So this is what I want to tell you. When I'm walking my dog on that land, it has no ownership, not only alongside my house, but behind my residence. You know why? Because this is not a title. That's not a title. So, you don't even bother to find out if Sean Shaw owned that land before you came to my house with your extremists, with your fanatics to seize my dog. One phone call, you get to seize my dog. I mean, this is the sick lunatic fringe from you people at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. What country do you live in at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office? North Korea? Cuba? One phone call, you're here to seize my wonderful little guy. And if they own that land, And like I said, that's not a title. Why don't they just come over here and give me the title and say we own that land, stay off the land? And I'd say fine. That's not the way they want to handle it. And they represent each other, Layla Kumar and Neeraj Shah. I get a letter from Neeraj Shah. I represent Layla Shah. This incestuous family, they represent each other. So, excuse me, Todd, can you say sometime during the day to one of your deputy whack jobs, I say there should be more meat on a stick. You know, they got a lot of sweets on sticks, popsicles, lollipops, but hardly any meat on a stick. That's language from a fictional whack job. You are a non-fictional whack job, Todd. So, anyway, I'm going to send this to you via email because I'm not going to pay money to do this. I'm going to put this in a PDF. I'm going to email this to you, Michael Rather, the Double Dipper, Kathleen Miller, W Today on SL Birdie. So, there's one foil here in particular that I'm going to get to first. It's one of my favorite. This is the Michael Radler foil, baby. There it is. The Michael Radler foil. You see that? I got it right up there, the Michael Radler foil. Huh? Michael Radler foil. I'm going to point to the keyword there. It's law. Do you understand? The keyword there, that foil there, law. All right, the Michael Radler foil. I hereby apply to inspect, obtain a copy of the following records. Quote, the cost to taxpayers of Monroe County and the state of New York if Michael Radler of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office is simultaneously collecting his retirement paycheck and a paycheck from his present employment as an assistant to Monroe County Sheriff Todd Baxter. That's what I want to know. I want to know if you, Michael Radler, are a double dipper. I want to know if you're taking home taxpayer dollars in the form of retirement paycheck and from your present employment as an assistant to the sheriff. So, Michael Radler, what exactly are you doing as an assistant to the sheriff? I mean, if Sheriff Baxter is hungry and he wants a donut from your Wegmans headquarters over here, 2157 Penfield Road, I mean, you go and get him a box of donuts? Is that what you do? I mean, if Sheriff Baxter needs his shoes shined there in the office, I mean, he's shining his shoes for him, Michael? If Sheriff Baxter needs his dry cleaning picked up, are you, Michael Radler, are you picking up his dry cleaning for him? Because I just don't understand this assistant to the sheriff title that you have. Just inform me what your duties and responsibilities are as an assistant to the sheriff. That's what I want to know. So we got the Michael Radler foil, public employee payroll for the Monroe County Sheriff's Office at Monroe County Jail. Yeah. Application for access to records, freedom of information. What's the keyword? Law. I hereby apply to inspect, obtain a copy of the following records. Quote, the cost of taxpayers if Monroe County Sheriff Todd Baxter has expended taxpayer dollars to settle employment-related discrimination lawsuits for failure to comply with Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Kathleen Miller, are you being sexually harassed on the job by your male co-workers at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office? Do you, Kathleen Miller, know if your female co-workers are being sexually harassed on the job by your male co-workers at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office? 170 employees there. It's overwhelmingly male. And based on my experience with your repulsive lawbreakers, and that's what they are, I want to know if male employees of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office are sexually harassing female employees of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. And the best way to obtain confirmation if that is happening is if Sheriff Baxter has settled employment-related sexual harassment or discrimination lawsuits. What's the answer to that question? You will refuse to answer. Even if you have expended taxpayer dollars to settle employment-related discrimination or sexual harassment lawsuits. What's the answer? I'm demanding an answer. If it's no, then it's no. No, we haven't. We don't have that kind of environment here at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. So is the answer no or yes? If it's no, it's no. If it's yes, you're not going to answer yes. What you're going to do is be totally indifferent. And if you're totally indifferent, then I'm going to conclude the answer is yes. Freedom of Information Law. I'm going to show you the key word here, law, baby, law. You understand what I'm communicating to you there? Quote, the names and charges of every inmate at Monroe County Jail from January 1, 2018 to December 31, 2018. That's a public facility. Your jail is a public facility. What are the names of the individuals and the charges for inmates at Monroe County Jail? I'll tell you why I want to know, because I was there as an innocent man. This vile, nauseating, despicable descent on my life by your fanatics and your criminal organization. And I sit down to eat one night. And next to me is a large man. He's about 6'4", approaching 300 pounds. And I was told that this man murdered his neighbor in Rochester. I'm not guilty of any crime. And here I am, having dinner at the same table as a man that murdered his neighbor in Rochester. And when I got home, I looked in the Democrat and Chronicle for a story about him, and I found it. And there's his picture in the Democrat and Chronicle. I'm not guilty of any crime. I've never committed a crime. And I appear in front of John Lomenzo. Prosecutor doesn't say anything. I look over at her. She has no argument. And your disgusting, vile Andrew Reale tells me we decided to arrest you before you got here today for standing in the corner of a parking lot. So, I'm an innocent man at your jail, eating next to a murderer. So, I was also there with a man who talked about how he committed a rape. I was there listening to a man detail how he assaulted his girlfriend. And then when I would go to sleep at night, I would see the gang members on the second floor of the jail. And they were speaking in Spanish. I never in my life thought that I would be in jail. As an innocent man. I want to know names and charges of everyone at your public facility. That is the Monroe County Jail. And you will refuse to comply. Because you are above the law at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Todd Baxter has total contempt for the law. The law is a joke for him. The law is bankrupt to him. The law is simply words on paper to him. The law is for other people. Application for access to records, Freedom of Information Law. That's the key word right there is law. Quote, the cost of a surveillance device purchased with taxpayer dollars and affixed to a building at 2025 Penview Road to monitor of Christopher Chichester, 26 Sand Farm Drive, walks through the parking lot next to the building. It's your device. You bought it, you installed it. And there it is right there. There it is right there. That's it right there. Now, I begin to walk through the parking lot for the 4,000th time. This Elliot Roth is outside. He tells me you're going to be arrested. I don't know what he's talking about. That's because he knows you installed that device. And then when these six fanatics converged upon me, it was on the phone of one of your deputy fanatics. And I've demanded this video footage 50 plus times. Email, regular mail, registered mail. And every time you refuse to provide it, because I'm not committing any crime on that video. That's why you refuse to provide me with the video. And it has an assigned number. If anybody ever sees that video and how you converged upon me and just put the handcuffs on me, and my neighbor witnessed this. He saw the whole thing. So don't think you're doing this to me in isolation. So I never saw the whole thing. I can hardly wait until you, Sheriff Todd Baxter, run for re-election, because I'm going to follow you everywhere. I'm going to come to every event that I can possibly come to. And everything I'm saying here, I'm going to say to you at these events. Application for access to records, Freedom of Information Law. I'm going to show you the key word there, because I know you were told there'd be no spelling. L-A-W is the key word. I hereby apply to inspect, obtain a copy, file records. Quote, the cost for a trip to Atlanta, Georgia for a hotel and boarding for Monroe County Sheriff employee Ryan Fisher to attend the Super Bowl in Atlanta, Georgia with his canine dog, Lola, on February 3rd, 2019. No, I didn't make that up. You sent your employee Ryan Fisher to the Super Bowl in Atlanta. What is Ryan Fisher doing at the Super Bowl in Atlanta, Georgia, Sheriff Todd Baxter? Tell me, what are his responsibilities? What are his responsibilities to protect the United States of America? America needs you, Ryan. America needs you always with Lola, L-O-L-A. Thank you, Ryan Fisher, for going to the Super Bowl in Atlanta to protect the United States of America with your canine Lola, L-O-L-A, Lola. What a fucking joke. How much was his plane ticket? How much was his hotel? How much did you spend for Lola to be boarded? Application for access to records, Freedom of Information Law. I hereby apply to inspect, obtain a copy of the records. Quote, the cost taxpayers photography session approved by Monroe County Sheriff Todd K. Baxter to photograph 13 public employees underwater in a pool. No, I didn't make that up. I'm trying not to laugh. You took a picture of your 13 public employees underwater in a pool. I just don't understand how you can possibly dress these guys in wetsuits, find out what pool exists, hire a photographer, and then have a photography session where your 13 public employees are underwater in a pool. There they are right there. What the hell are you doing, Sheriff Todd K. Baxter, taking a picture of your 13 employees underwater in a pool? What's going on here? And is Ryan Fisher, I don't see his canine Lola. I mean, Ryan, are you one of these 13 public employees in a wetsuit here? What's going on here, baby? Total buffoonery, incompetence, extremism. I love it, baby. All right, now we have here, this is the Michael Radler foil. The Michael Radler foil. So, you Michael Radler, how are the donuts at your Wegmans headquarters, Michael? Huh? Because, I've seen your photograph. And, you need to lose weight, Michael, baby. What's going on with you? So I look at your photograph, and, you're not in tremendous shape like me. I'm 54, and I can run a 5K in 21 minutes. So 4 minutes slower, 5 minutes slower than I used to, but still, that's pretty good. So how many donuts are you eating at your Wegmans Food Market's headquarters for Sheriff Baxter, MR? What's going on there? And the reason why I mention that, because another thing I want to know about your repulsive criminal organization is if there is a PT test. When I was in the Army in the 101st, we had the physical training test where you had to reach a certain level of push-ups, sit-ups, and a time for the 2-mile run. And if you didn't reach those push-ups and sit-ups in time for the 2-mile run, you were flagged. You couldn't get promoted. You couldn't travel. You couldn't get an award. You were effectively a non-soldier. So, I'm looking at you deputy fanatics. These guys got some serious weight problems. So, what's going on? When I say serious weight problem, I say at least 20 pounds overweight. That's what I mean. So I want to be clear when I use that language. So, anyway, you, Michael, 25 years on the job, and now you're an assistant next to Jimmy the intern for Sheriff Baxter. So, you know what your job is, Michael? Your job is to ignore every single foil I send you for your public employee payroll. So, this is the Michael Radler foil as he's sitting there outside Sheriff Baxter's office next to Jimmy the intern. You know, asking Sheriff, I'm going to tell you what your job is, Michael. Your job is to go up to Sheriff Baxter every morning and say, excuse me, Sheriff, would you like milk and sugar in your coffee? So anyway, here we have the Michael Radler foil. You see that? That's a special foil just for you, MR, the Michael Radler foil. Okay? Quote, I hereby apply to inspect, obtain a copy of the following records. The cost of taxpayers of Monroe County, the state of New York, and Michael Radler, the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, simultaneously collecting his retirement paycheck and a paycheck from his present employment as an assistant to Monroe County Sheriff Todd Baxter. So, you know, I've gone back and forth on this here, thinking, you know, should I just come out and say he's collecting 2 paychecks at once from his previous employment as sheriff's office and his present employment? You know, because I'm not 100% sure. So I'm vacillating on that one. And what's the answer? Only you can tell me, Sheriff Baxter and Michael Radler, and you, Kathleen Miller, and you, S. Alberti, and you, W. Tadeo. What's the answer? If the answer is no, the answer is no. All he has is one salary. If the answer is yes, that's Michael Radler, the double dipper, baby. So, you think you're going to descend on my life and violate my civil and constitutional rights? I told my mother I was arrested for standing in the corner of that parking lot there, and she cried. And she said, I know you didn't do anything wrong, Chris. So, Freedom of Information Law, I'm going to point to the key word there, law. Quote, I hereby apply to inspect, obtain a copy of the following records. The cost of taxpayers of Monroe County Sheriff Todd Baxter has suspended taxpayer dollars to settle employment-related discrimination lawsuits for failure to comply with Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Are you, Kathleen Miller, being sexually harassed on the job by your male co-workers? Do you, Kathleen Miller, know if your male co-workers are sexually harassing other female co-workers at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office? What's the answer? Freedom of Information Law. Quote, I hereby apply to expect, obtain a copy of the following records. And there it is right there. It's a keyword law. Names and charges of every inmate at Monroe County Jail from January 1, 2018 to December 31, 2018. Send me the list. Jail is a public facility. I want to know the name of the individual, the charge, how long they were there. And you will refuse to comply. This is public information I'm demanding from you. Why do you think you exist in the Monroe County Sheriff's Office? Because of taxpayer dollars. Without taxpayer dollars, you're nothing. You're Wegmans down here. You have the same power to abridge my civil and constitutional rights as Danny or Colleen Wegman. So I want to know who was at your jail, and you'll refuse to tell me. You refuse to comply, despite the fact that taxpayers support every single one of the people at your jail. You will continue to ignore the law. You will continue to refuse to tell me your public employee salaries. I sent you this document. Here. I'm going to read it to you. Because you weren't complying with the FOIL, so I changed the document. Todd K. Baxter, Retention Records Access Officer, 130 South Plymouth Avenue, Rochester, New York. Under New York Freedom of Information Law, New York Public Officers Law, Section 84, I demand public records that disclose the salary for Timothy Horan, Michael Radler, Corey Brown, Michael Fowler, Kenneth Willis, Matthew Van Duzy, Lou Tomasetti, Edward Krensler Jr. This Freedom of Information Law filing follows my demand that you close the salary for Todd K. Baxter, Samuel Bell, Paul DeLella, Todd Thurston, Jason Eliato, Douglas Comanzo. It is simple how you comply. The name of your employee, the salary. This is not a decision for you to make. You disclose. It's that simple. You disclose the salary for each one of these individuals is a public employee. I'll tell you what you will decide. You will refuse to disclose the salaries of these public employees, and that breach places the Sheriff of Monroe County in contravention of the law. in contravention of the law. That is Sheriff Todd Baxter in Monroe County.